This conference will now be recorded.
Go. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did everyone review the board minutes from October 4th? Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did.
Any corrections?
No, Jason, no correction.
Well, on that, so. Second. All in favor?
Hi.
Minutes are approved. Minutes are approved. Item B, Fire Department apparatus bid recommendation. I guess in the board package you've looked, we had down to 2 choices that came close. And they went with the lowest bid, which was from KME. And I guess there's just a few incidentals they need to add, but they would have had to have done that to all of them, last minute items. And at this point, they would like us to approve their bid process so they can move on to the next step. Does anybody have any questions?
I would like to know how we're gonna pay for this.
Bonding.
Remember when we talked about
Remember, it's going to be the fire truck, so down payment will come out of the fire reserve for bonding
How
for
much,
this.
how much?
We're going to do 10%.
And we have like over $500,000. in it.
Not in that reserve. There's about $500,000 in that reserve.
Why are we not using more of that?
Because bond rates are really low, and in case they need another vehicle or truck, as long as I can keep the bond underneath $1 million, we don't have to go through the whole Moody's thing with it. But the electric truck
Sure.
and
Dump truck
Brad's
would be-
dump truck are all going to be bonded together,
Remember we talked about that?
Total fits under.
just under $1 million.
So you
So you're
cannot
gonna
award
adjust,
this
you're gonna
bid.
adjust the down payment so that it's. comes
Yes,
under $1 million.
yes.
You can't award the bid without a bond resolution in place.
If we're going to bond.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can take care of that.
And we haven't done one in a while.
No, we usually
Janet's
use Joan,
scary.
but she's gotta we gotta have a bond resolution in place before you can award the bid.
Okay.
Is that something we now need to wait 2 weeks on, or can we do it pending the bond, the bid? The
No, I
bond?
mean, you have to have the bond resolution.
Okay.
But whatever else is being purchased with this money,
Mhm.
with this bond, ought to all be in there and then.
Yeah.
Be good.
Okay, so at this point, you need us to table this?
Correct.
Okay.
No, it'll move to the November. meeting.
Do I have a motion to put?
So table. Or so moved. Is that fiscal advisors?
Mhm.
So did you say?
No,
second?
Well, no, you don't involve them all.
Second. All in favor?
Fiscal advisors,
It's like-
fiscal advisors would be if you have to do the over $1 million.
Mhm.
The bond resolution is just Joan Blykamp from Wall to Wall.
Yeah.
But the fiscal advisors, that's a whole nother level of cost and due diligence.
But you said that every bid that's attached to this bond has to be in.
Well, she'll do a bond resolution not to exceed X number of dollars for the purpose, and she'll list them
Okay.
and their expected useful lives.
Yeah.
But you'll have to give it what it is.
Yeah.
They might be used for. Okay. And then we can, pass the
Okay.
award
Award the
bids. And then when we need the money, we go out for, she will bid out to the various lending institutions who do this, get bids back, and then we'll decide which one we're going with. Yeah.
But Janet, we've already, if you will, awarded. Well,
So I didn't know how we were paying for it. Is it ordered?
yes.
Nobody mentioned how we were paying for that one, I guess, that it was gonna be a bond.
How about the dump truck? Has that been ordered yet?
Yep.
We'll get busy right away on that.
Should we just award it and then order it this one too, so we keep it consistent?
We better wait.
There's no bills or anything that are outstanding or dated prior to the date of the bond resolution.
So you'll call Joan in the
Yeah.
morning, or do you want me to?
No, I can do it.
And if Justin does have a time requirement for when that bid was or wasn't good through, let us know.
Yeah, and I
If you-
think he actually might, so you can talk to him first thing in the morning.
So if you do have to get this through, then we could always have an emergency meeting too.
But I mean, you can just tell them, you can tell them that, this is what we're gonna do, but
Okay.
we have to just cross the T's and dot some I's.
But it's not the kind of thing we can prove pending.
I would,
Okay, then we will, so table. Okay, item C, MEUA Lyman School graduation travel. I believe that's Kimball Davy. Does anybody have any questions on that?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
not only for Kimball, but there's two of our linemen who are graduating
I
there.
think they get, I think.
Yeah, I think they're,
They
They're
pay
free, okay.
for the cost of the school, right?
and I think it was already like pre-done, like for the whole year for that.
Kimball is approved to go. Item D is a Lake Placid Police Department Leadership Summit, November 3rd to 4th in Lake Charge. I believe that's Chuck Dobson, Assistant Chief Chuck Dobson. You've all had a chance to read that. Any questions there? I have a motion.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chuck is heading for Lake George. Item E, Water Department Treatment Webinar Series number 9. Carol Mason, yep. Any questions there?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Nice to have everybody trained, cross-trained, so that everyone can fill in when needed. Okay, then the next two I had separated out. As you know, I am supposed to travel to Copenhagen November 22nd through the 27th for the World League of Nations. And I believe this is for what, my airfare?
Mhm.
I think they pick up my motel and
yeah.
room and board?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the board's pleasure? Do I hear a motion to send me to Copenhagen?
Moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then G is ex-mayor Randall, who has been seated on that board. They're honoring him with that. And the question there is, they'll be also picking up his room and board. We want to send him over for airfare from the village for all the past service and whatever contacts he may have in the future.
Seems reasonable to me. Can make introductions for you. Yeah. So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And then H is apparently what is that pronounced?
Believe stanchion.
You all got a picture of that? It's just basically a cutout to go in Woods Park. People take pictures with.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to allow World University Games to put this in Woods Park?
Moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And that brings us down to dog license application. I think the way we would have a motion on this, is there any discussion beforehand, or should I go into what I think the motion should be?
Go into the motion.
Floor is yours. At this point, we do have an individual in the village who thinks that the boat rental and the dog license, or the dog rental should not be allowed to cross over village property. So far from legal counsel in the village and at NICOM, it is not an illegal use, and therefore I recommend that we approve the dog sled license application unless something at future dates proves we are wrong. Any word from you, Janet?
I just had a question. In the application, he cites an address, 2405 Main Street. It says he has permission from the owner. What property is
I
that?
believe that's one main part,
Yeah, it says formerly One Main.
Gessner's property.
But that led me to believe that he's going to use that property to get people on the lake.
That's correct.
Fine. So,
I mean, I think it comes down to if we were or weren't allowed in the past to get people on the lake on our property, this will take all the guesswork out of it.
This wasn't even the dog sled.
I think,
There was access not where.
I think it was on village property in the past.
It was.
I think in the past, it was actually, there was a set of wooden stairs that was temporary from the shore to the lake to allow anybody to get access the lake through the park.
Right.
If they happen to access it, to go out and skate or go out and walk to the cottage or go out and take a dog sled ride, it was just access to the lake.
Where does he conduct business? On the
On the
lake?
lake, yes,
On the lake.
which is why it's different than
Right.
boat rentals.
Nobody collects.
So he collects his money when you get in the sled and it's on the lake.
Yeah, and he
Before
makes,
he lets you on, so there's no like funny business.
and he makes a track. And I don't know whether we're putting up temporary stairs for people to go on the lake. It's always been probably a good idea, so they're not causing erosion to the shoreline to jump on the lake or fall over.
Right.
But he puts those stairs up every year.
Well, he owns them, but they belong to us now, and we put them up.
Yeah.
That's
And we
what Brad
maintain
said.
the
He
shovel.
built them and we took ownership.
It is a nice access. It is the only place on the north end of Main Street where people can access the lake.
So, unless you go through the cottage.
But I mean, depending on this individual, if they are right or wrong, and depending where it goes in the future, at least,
Yeah, I'm not troubled by it.
yeah, I mean, let's do everything as legal, just in case. Okay, so in that case, and the other part of that is he's going to be asking for a parking place like he always does, except now the spot he usually asks for is about in the middle of the bump out. So it'll be on the far side over on Mirror Lake Drive that he'll ask for a spot.
And he pays for that.
Yes.
Pays.
So do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye. And it has nothing to do with access, it has everything to do with the fact that less than desirable ownership.
So noted. Okay, so that passes as well. Are there any other items to come?
There are actually two more items. One I shared with the mayor and the board members. The police department is requesting two more hires. The reason it's under time pressure is because there is a new academy beginning the day of our next board meeting. So they're asking to have these two hires, Michael J. Salpaugh and Ian M. Quaid, for position of police officer, pending successful completion of the physical exam, including drug testing, psychological exam, and full completion of their background investigation.
And it's worth noting that it seems like every time, by the time we get the list, it comes out so late, by the time we have a chance to do interviews, the school is starting and we're either in
Every time,
an emergency
literally every
meeting. It's
time.
always a rush job, but for those of you that are new on the board, that's the history of it. And we're very lucky to have these two local people that are interested in.
Is that Ralph Quaid's son?
So we can either wait and give you a chance to research this,
And she's up also.
and we would have to have an emergency meeting between now and November. But if we're all in favor, this would be a great chance for the person to start getting ready to go to the academy and for them to make arrangements. Did you have a question, Jackie?
Yes.
Go for it.
I'm just a little concerned with one of the applicants.
Okay.
I'd rather.
Would you like to have a chance to go talk with Bill about this?
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we go from here? Either way, we're going to have an emergency meeting if we're going to approve this because they have to be ready to go to the academy, which isn't good.
Can we go into executive session after this? I can be.
Personnel.
I can come out of it.
Sure. So we will just,
We could do that right now.
Yeah, we can.
Well, then we have to stop the recording and.
well, we'll
Is
just
that
come
not
back. We'll just come back. It's not-
Okay.
We'll do that as
So,
well.
and I'll remind you that I think one of the terms of our hiring traditionally has been that we pay for their academy. They leave within 3 years and go to.
Is it
another-
longer now or is it still 3?
I'm not sure. My recollection is
I think it's still free. I haven't heard of it.
Unless
you
they
could
go to
change
the,
it. and-
unless they
and
go to the state police, then it's nothing.
No, well, probably, but if they jump ship, so to speak, and go to another law enforcement agency, then we get reimbursed for the cost of the capital.
And if they,
Prorated.
and if we use the word jump ship in the first 3 years, but they don't go to another law enforcement academy, there's no reimbursement either, correct?
Correct.
Which has happened to us. All right, well, then let's just hold off on the new item G or HIJ. And you said.
Yeah, one more item. This is more of a rubber stamp. The Lake Placid Horse Show is requesting to have their flags hung next summer, June 13th through July 11th, and they already sent the check for it. It's the standard length of time, 25 banners. And our agreement with the university games is that anytime our regular customers come around, their flags go up and university games come down, so.
Is there something we can do to kind of like, so we can kind of, they can coexist?
If it can be done, Kimball will do it. I mean, but if not, everybody knows that that's the deal. And it, just for.
I think it's actually kind of nice that they're not there every day, so you get used to it.
Right.
You know, they come,
Yeah.
go, it kind of gives them a new.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't think the horse show wants everything, like aren't there flags?
No,
here?
definitely, no. That's just, yeah, there will still be World University flags all over the rest of the village, but these 25 spots are the horse show spots.
It's just from my perspective, we should be drowning in all the.
I get it. I know.
Imagery and stuff.
Well, you can go get your picture now.
Yes.
Okay,
Just talk a little bit.
so do I hear a motion to approve horse show banner thing? So,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passes. Okay, anything else to come?
That is all.
And treasure items, I think it's thank you, Jackie.
Yes, but Mark, you can do it from now on.
Until she wants it back.
No, I just, sorry that
It's okay. It's a requirement that you do it every time.
Jason could do a couple before he leaves us too.
I would be delighted. About a half dozen photos.
Is there anything else from the
Look at
treasurer?
this guy.
Yeah.
Your spot. Yeah, make sure you.
I don't think they approved the warrant
You
yet,
want
though.
to see something?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There's no.
Did we get a first and a
There's
second
no
on
motion
discussion?
yet.
We didn't vote.
So, yeah, so they just moved right here. Give me a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mark.
I did. Oh, no, I need it. My phone was- I'm just like, I take that home. You're right. Die,
You
yeah.
have?
That head cold.
You couldn't think.
It's gonna be very boring.
Okay,
Might have to come in and check.
anything under new business?
What? What are you pointing at me for?
Did you have your jacket up?
And no socks.
That'd be one of those full fireplaces where it's just like,
Keep picking on her.
Heats
She
up
has to
and
put
it's-
socks in her purse. Socks on. Like, you used to
and have
start one day,
a
walk
coffee
around.
bar. I have board meetings on Monday.
Is there anything under new business? Old business? Going once?
I do.
Okay.
I sounding on this board, reminding you, please do not wait till the absolute last minute on the opt-out, opt-in.
Oh,
You gotta make some decision and move.
And
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was a conversation.
is it my understanding that we have to have a public hearing if we want to opt out? Does anybody know?
I think so.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think
My
you do.
understanding too.
Really? That they have to have a.
Well, I think it's a local law.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
check that out.
I don't think you need one.
Well, but what I think is, I was talking with Supervisor Rand today, he pointed out that that might be a step. Can you reach out to your NICOM
Yeah.
connection?
But I think it's a local law.
Right,
opting out, and
exactly.
You need a public hearing,
Right.
usually for a local law.
Right.
So I think at this point, it's fair to say the board's wish at this point will be to opt out pending further information in the future, the possibility of us putting this as a first referendum in March. And we need to do this in time, and if we do have to have a public hearing, we need time for that too. So at this point, should we start the ball rolling? I'm all for it.
I'm all for it.
I think, and what they said, villages can just automatically.
We don't have to have someone do a petition, correct?
Correct.
So I think that makes-
Anybody can opt out, either town or village, but in the case of putting it on the election in March, we don't have to have
Well-
a petition.
I think that makes a lot of sense to opt out and just put it on the ballot.
Yes. Leaves all the options open.
But so
Well,
what
we
I,
don't put it in the ballot.
what I,
Yes.
yes,
You can.
We don't
What I
have to-
gathered
as a
from
village,
the-
have to have a referendum.
what I
Just put it
gathered,
on.
the girl who put on
Yeah.
the show,
It triggers it.
she said that one of the differences between the town and the village is that the village board, on its own accord, can call for a referendum, or a town cannot. The town could only do a permissive referendum if the petition with the required number of signatures was presented. I've got to follow up on that, and I believe that it's at the next general election. For
For the town or the?
the village.
So can that be a special election? Because we're going to have a special election.
That's a question. See, this is all a work in process.
Well,
When's our special election?
March.
We're gonna replace those
March is
guys.
a regular election. We don't have one this year. We don't have any.
No, but we will have a special election for Jason's spot.
But in 23, we would have a general election, right?
So I don't think you want to wait until 23.
No, nobody's, whoever comes in, fills the spot will be appointed until the March election, and they will ask for Jason. They will run in that election if they so choose, and then if they win, a year later, they'll have to run again because they're only fulfilling the 1 year.
Or we don't even have to appoint anyone now because
Yeah, you don't
it's
have
only
to.
like 3 months.
So what I was
Just an
saying is,
election.
I have a question and I don't know the answer, but now that I'm hearing this is the board's desire, is to opt out. Is a public hearing necessary, number one? And then if you want to have a referendum on your own accord, can it be a special election, or is it got to wait till the next general election, which is not going to be till 2023?
But we should get a better turnout for the special election if we have that.
What I understand, Jana, what I understood was that from a village perspective, if we opted out, it triggered one. It didn't seem like we had control over it.
No, she specifically said that the village, this is a difference between village law and town law.
Yeah.
So I'll follow up on that, Anita.
Okay.
Follow up on that.
I think that's what you were saying. You thought was, we
Thank
want
you.
to let people decide.
Yeah.
It's just-
Well, and the nice thing is, if you do opt out now, there's no dispensaries that are going into the next year to year and a half. So it's not like we got to hurry up. It gives us time to see how things pan out, what the voters want, and,
Well, there'll be a lot of rules and regulations that are not promulgated yet.
right. So. Okay, so
Okay, I'll follow up on that.
appreciate it. Anything else under old business? Under mayor items, all I have is congratulations to Mark for his second place finish with 1 week training and a half marathon. I guess he didn't decide to run it till what, 5-6 days?
Yeah, Monday I signed up.
Wait a minute, he's out on Averyville Lane every day.
It's a lifestyle.
Might have had first if he trained. But congratulations, good job. Let's see, commissioner reports? Everyone all up to date on Main Street? Have you heard about the coal chutes and the trap doors and the falling walls? And
Ooh, I didn't hear about a falling wall.
towards the end of Main Street, there's 2 walls that are not in good shape and they'll have to do something. But I guess Ivan is in the process of drawing something up that can be done, and then Kabuki will do them.
Our walls or private property walls?
It's private property, because it's about just, we can't build it, it's sidewalk. I heard.
There's a private property and then there's a village wall and we're putting another one, so it will be us.
It's for the village.
Holes in the wall.
Apparently, from what I gather, Main Street used to drop down at that part, and those places used to be above ground, and then when they leveled Main Street, those got buried, similar to Lisa G's. We had the same problem there when we did the work on the bridge. That was the main floor was the second floor.
Right.
And that was taken care of. It's actually kind of nice that we're I know you guys aren't, but at least a lot of people are going into the off season now, so the disruption to having the walls poured and fixed, it's a good time, better than July and August for sure.
So 2 weeks, they're gonna binder coat the street. It'll be done up to Mid Park, except for the finish road.
Yeah, this is just the last.
And some line striping. I mean, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
basically at this point, they got the word from the state, start closing it up. They don't want to run the risk of winter coming in early and they can't block the street, so.
Are we, the lines that are moved, coming down Center Ave seem to be kind of reappearing, are we gonna repaint those to kind of sort of minimize any?
Well, it's gonna be paved over and.
Oh, the whole thing all the way up?
It's,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought it was just.
This is binder coat, it's another inch and a half goes.
Oh, I thought it was just going to one.
Not until next fall.
But next fall.
Next fall, another inch and a half goes on top.
Okay, but going up Center Ave
Yeah.
by November-ish.
Next year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying there's, you see
I know,
the
it's
stretch,
two lines.
yeah, there's, 2 sets of lines.
That's so we can maintain the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, but I'm just like, just
They
thinking about
should
it.
have grounded off instead of painting over it. That's,
So we should probably do something.
it can be confusing.
And what you see on Saranac Avenue is what you're going to have from Nitz Park to Brewster Park. It'll be the binder coat again, so it'll be a substantial surface.
Oh, yeah.
And then there'll be a shim, which is just a couple of inches slabbed over the lower part, but just to get us through until they dig it up next spring.
Just for the small house.
But it should look very nice.
That
I mean, everybody's patience and a lot of road came out of there. There was what, a layer of cement road, a brick road, blacktop road, all that had to be dug out and then a good binder packed down in there. A lot of work. Okay. That's about it. And where are we on the bid for the water filtration plant? Is that
in the end of the month? So it's
Yeah, I want to say
30th,
the
31st?
last Wednesday of the month
about another
at
10 days?
11 a.m.
Because they couldn't get pricing on materials.
Yeah,
You know, this whole-
because everyone can.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We don't have anyone to ask questions, do we?
No,
Okay,
we can go into executive session.
so then we'll go into an executive session to discuss
Make personnel.
personnel. Can I have a motion to go into executive session? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Are we done recording?